Hey guys, Nintendrew here. If you own any older cartridge-based games, chances are you have a few that are in less than perfect shape. Torn or damaged labels, stubborn price stickers, and permanent marker can all be huge headaches for game collectors. But they don't have to be. Today, I'll show you how to clean and restore your game cartridges to keep them running smoothly and looking great for years to come. Let's get to it. Alright, so in this tutorial, I'll be covering 5 techniques for refurbishing your game cartridges. These tips will work for pretty much any cartridge-based console, and if you've seen my videos on how to restore game boxes and cases, you'll probably be familiar with a couple of these methods already. For this video, I just went out to some local game stores and found a stack of Nintendo 64 titles which had seen better days. Let's see if we can get them looking any better. So, first up, let's talk about removing stickers and residue. Everyone is familiar with this problem. Many older game cartridges have been plastered with stickers from previous owners and countless secondhand stores. If you're lucky, removing a sticker can be as easy as slowly peeling it away from the plastic. However, sometimes they can be pretty stubborn or might cause damage to the game's artwork when removed if they're placed directly on the label. In these cases, you can use a heat gun or hairdryer to help loosen the sticker's adhesive. Just pass the hairdryer over the sticker back and forth for a couple minutes, and test a small corner to see if the glue has begun to release. Once it starts to let go, carefully work the corner across the sticker, and you should be able to remove it with little or no damage to the label underneath. In some cases, a sticker may be particularly stubborn or leave a lot of adhesive residue behind. For that, I recommend using Goo Gone Adhesive Remover. Just apply a bit to a Q-tip and wipe it over the spot you'd like to clean. However, I only recommend using Goo Gone when dealing with stickers which are on solid plastic, not those on the game's label itself, because it can tend to eat away at the artwork underneath. Sometimes you might also come across one of these old rental store stickers which are partially transparent and cover the game's label entirely. These are incredibly difficult to remove without causing irreversible damage, so instead of trying to peel these off, I recommend using a bit of isopropyl alcohol to wash away the sticker's ink. Carefully rub some alcohol over the area with a Q-tip or paper towel, then dry. You'll be left with a completely clear layer which can actually serve to protect the original label in the long run. Go figure. Next, let's talk about removing permanent marker. Contrary to popular belief, permanent marker is anything but permanent. If your cartridge has a bit of writing on its plastic shell, this can quickly be treated with just a bit of that isopropyl alcohol and wiped away with a paper towel. Easy as that. Now, permanent marker on a label is a bit more difficult to deal with, but certainly not impossible. To do this, you'll want to pick up a colorless blender marker. These markers have an alcohol-based solution which is somewhat more gentle on a cartridge label than just going at it with regular alcohol and a Q-tip. Carefully drag the blender marker over the areas which have been affected and wipe away the ink with a Q-tip or paper towel. Now, your results may vary with this method depending on how long ago the permanent marker was applied and how dark the artwork is underneath. But with some precision and patience, you should at least be able to uncover some of the label which was buried underneath that layer of ink. Next up, let's talk about cleaning the game's contacts. In order to keep your cartridges working great and free of dust and debris, you can use, once again, just a bit of isopropyl alcohol on the end of a Q-tip and scrub both sides of the game's contacts. However, for what it's worth, if you've got a good-sized library of titles, it might be worth it to pick up a few 1-Up cards. The 1-Up card is a reusable game cartridge cleaner, which can make your life a lot easier if you're doing this more than once in a blue moon. Just apply some of the 1-Up card fluid to the fluid side of the card, scrub both sides of the game's contacts, then flip the card around to buff away any dirt and grime that might be left over. This will ensure your game's connection to the console is stable without the need for blowing in the cartridge. If you find that a particular game is still giving you trouble, you can always pick up a set of game bit screwdrivers and open up the cartridge yourself. This may help you get a better look at the board and pinpoint any stubborn buildups that might cause issues when starting up the title. After that, let's take a look at game label touch-ups. If you saw my video on video game box restoration, you might remember a demo where I used a set of fine point permanent markers to clean up an unsightly area on the side of this Majora's Mask box. Basically, for game labels, it's pretty much the same thing. You can use markers to cover up small blemishes and improve the overall look of the game's artwork. Now, this tends to be a big point of contention among the retro gaming community, so if you're in doubt, you might want to think twice before modifying the original label. But if you have no intentions of reselling and just want to make some minor improvements for your own collection, this might be a valuable option. Finally, let's talk about applying replacement or reproduction labels. In cases where the game's label is too far gone, it might be worth it to start over from scratch. For this method, grab your bottle of Goo Gone once again and apply it to the label directly with a paper towel. Give the solution a few minutes to rest, then scrub the label away with a washcloth or a dry paper towel. Once fully cleaned, the cartridge should look like this. Now, you can choose to purchase a pre-made reproduction label online. There are plenty of sites like RetroGameCases.com, which offer tons of options for peel and stick replacement labels. But if you've got an inkjet printer at home, you can also choose to print a replacement yourself. If you've watched my tutorial on printing replacement game cases, this is pretty much the exact same thing. All you'll need to do is find a suitable high-quality scan of the artwork you'd like to print, import it into your image editor of choice, then resize the label to match the actual cartridge's dimensions. In the case of the N64, this is about 55mm wide by 64mm tall. As always, if you intend to resell the cartridge, make sure to include a reproduction label message on the new artwork so as to not mislead a potential buyer. For this example, I've also downloaded an image for the Nintendo 64 rear cartridge label just to make a few extras and to take up some of that otherwise unused space on the page. Next, grab a sheet of high-quality glossy photo paper and go ahead and print the new label. If all goes well, you should see something like this. After you've cut the new artwork out of the page and trimmed away all the excess paper, you'll want to apply just a small amount of super glue or use a glue stick to attach the label to the cartridge. Make sure it's firmly pressed onto that plastic shell, and we're almost done. A final step I like to include is to use a bit of ultra-clear packing tape to seal and protect the finished product. This is a cheaper, quick alternative to having your label professionally laminated, and will keep the new artwork safe from minor wear and damage. After you've applied a layer of packing tape, trim the excess away with a precision knife or box cutter, and you should be good to go. You can also choose to apply the tape to the full photo paper sheet directly before cutting out your label if you find that easier, whichever works for you. So, with these 5 methods, your old worn game cartridges should be looking great in no time at all. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this new game restoration tutorial. If you did, as always, please do consider subscribing to Nintendrew for all sorts of cool gaming content, and make sure to share it with anyone you think might find it interesting. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, thanks again for watching and for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you like this one, here are 2 more videos you might like as well. As always, if you like what I do and would like to help out the channel, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen. And otherwise, I hope you look forward to the next one. Take care!